My name is Gavin,
And I'm Christian.
and this is our IRT Final Project Presentation. Our project is synthesis and characterization of sand templated cerium oxide for morphological and crystallographic tuning. The goal of our project is to synthesize oriented cerium oxide nanoparticles using CH3 and OH SAM functionalized gold substrates. Some applications of rare earth metals include MRI contrast, lasers, and hydrogen fuel cells. What's currently known about rare earth metal nanoparticles is that they have different atomic arrangements and coordinations. Edges and corners have low coordination, high surface area, and unique charge distribution. Their morphology shapes surface area and density of active sites. More edges and corners means more sites available for reactions and reactions to shape and surface control magnetic interactions. Designing nanoparticles with specific shapes and facets allows tuning of catalytic performance. We are using SAMs as they allow for spontaneous chemisorption. They form strong covalent bonds with substrate. They allow for epitaxial-like nucleation, and they guide intermolecular interactions between the monolayer and specific nucleating planes along the substrate, providing oriented growth. They have spacer flexibility, arrangement for local epitaxy, and they stabilize orientations that are not thermodynamically stable. Our generalized synthesis approach involves functionalizing our gold sputtered wafers with CH3 or OH head groups. We then take those wafers and run cerium oxide growth with critical parameters including pH, temperature, and time. Then we run our characterization techniques including TEM and SEM.
After synthesis, we use SEM to examine how the self-assembled monolayers influence cerium oxide morphology, particle density, and size distribution. So cerium oxide synthesized in solution without a substrate produced particles averaging about 77.7 nanometers, with a relatively broad size distribution, reflecting homogeneous nucleation occurring only in the bulk solution. Growth on a bare gold wafer produced slightly smaller particles of 75.8 nanometers and the highest particle density of 34.5 particles per micron squared. The gold surface likely provides weak non-specific adsorption sites that lower the heterogeneous nucleation barrier, allowing precursor species to adsorb freely and generate abundant nucleation events. The OH functionalized wafer produced the smallest particles of about 67.3 nanometers with a relatively narrow size distribution. The hydrophilic OH groups likely promote interactions with hydrated cerium precursor, which increases the nucleation rate and produces more uniform particle population. Despite this, the particle density is only about 14 particles per micron, likely because precursor ions must first displace the strongly bound hydration layer before adsorption. The smaller particle size is advantageous though, because it provides a higher surface area to volume ratio and for more active catalytic sites. In contrast, the CH3 functionalized wafer produced the largest particles of about 98.7 nanometers and the broadest size distribution. The hydrophobic methyl groups likely suppress precursor adsorption and heterogeneous nucleation, so overall fewer nuclei form and continue to grow in a precursor-rich environment, resulting in generally larger and more broadly distributed particles. The CH3 surface also exhibits relatively low particle density of approximately 14.7 particles per micron squared. We also did TEM and selected area electron diffraction to confirm that all samples were cerium oxide with lattice spacings corresponding to the 111, 200, 220, and 311 planes. The solution control and bare gold wafers produced polycrystalline particles, while both the OH and CH3 functionalized wafers produce mesocrystalline particles, as seen by the very spotty diffraction patterns compared to the more continuous concentric rings on the bare gold wafer. Furthermore, the absence of the 200 reflections on both the OH and CH3 wafers suggests that self-assembled monolayers promote preferred crystallographic orientation during growth. Overall, the mesocrystalline structure is beneficial because it is composed of crystallographically aligned nanocrystals whose internal boundaries can create additional defect sites and expose more surface atoms while preserving electron and ion transportation, which hopefully would increase the catalytic and electrochemical performance. So overall conclusions is that the monolayer did impact the particle size distribution with monolayer dependent polydispersity, as well as hydrated and hydrophilic monolayer dependent nucleation density. These monolayers also produce mesocrystallinity. And for future work, we would want to focus on atomic force microscopy to see how these cerium oxide nanoparticles grow over time. Thank you.